Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide back another week, and we have finally gotten the playoff matchups. Playoffs are finally set. Pretty good, exciting NFL season. Last week, Patriots winning convincing fashion. Were you worried at all? We talked about it last week about what they were going to do, but it looked like they were in control most of the game.
Yeah, a lot of their players who were kind of questionable to start or not, they were kind of banged up. A lot of them played, and they did look good. I know the Dolphins had a little bit of a comeback, I think, about after halftime, but I mean, the Pats looked very good. You know, when they were really turning it on, they could do whatever they wanted to do. And that Edelman 77-yard touchdown, Michael Floyd with that block.
Yeah, that was a nice block.
And he had, I think, 3 receptions for a number of yards, so they're getting him in the mix.
Yeah, and he had the touchdown earlier in the game, dragging 3 or 4 players on his back. So Floyd, you're right, going into the playoffs, and we don't know who they play, obviously, but it looks like they're going to get him involved. He's here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm really glad they did that in this week because going into the playoffs, it's good that he's gotten his feet wet a little bit into that system. And I mean, he is a very good player. He's a first-round pick only a few seasons ago, so he's just another weapon they have to use.
And I was a little concerned. I guess it doesn't matter now. It's hindsight. But Brady playing so long, even though the Dolphins did almost mount a little bit of a comeback. They scored late in it was the third or fourth quarter. Then Brady went right back down the field. They scored a touchdown. And then you just kept saying, okay, now you can take Brady out. Now you can take Brady out. And they didn't do that. I don't know if you were a little nervous, but he took some hits there. One of them, he was getting up slowly, and I was surprised.
Yeah, I was definitely a little concerned. He's absolutely got to be basically 100% for the playoffs. But I'm sure he wanted to play. He wanted to go back out there. That's just how he is. He's a competitive guy. So, I don't know if Bill wanted to take him out and Tom said, no, I want to go back in. But I was definitely getting concerned.
Yeah, he was pretty excited and good for the Patriots wrapping up the number 1 seed. Let's get into the other matchups. We'll break down the Patriots next week when we know who their opponent is. But getting into the first matchup, probably the best matchup that you think. We got Pittsburgh and Miami on Sunday at 1, and then Saturday afternoon is Oakland and Houston. A couple interesting games. Which one do you think that might be more interesting?
I'd probably say the Dolphins-Steelers.
Yeah.
I think they're healthier all around. I mean, I know the Raiders, they're on their third-string quarterback. Right. And the Texans, they're on their second string with Brock Osweiler. So probably Dolphins-Steelers will be the more competitive matchup, definitely.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with that Houston and Oakland game because that's on Saturday. That's the first game, and you mentioned Oakland on their third-string quarterback. Houston, they start Brock Osweiler all season. He comes out, and then he goes back in. And maybe that'll surprise us, and because that's basically the game that's getting written off all week. Everyone's saying that's going to be a boring game, not very exciting. But maybe it'll surprise us and maybe it will be a little bit closer. It's that defensive battle. But you talked about Miami and Pittsburgh, and the way Pittsburgh's playing right now, they should be able to roll over Miami. But Miami did beat them already once this year, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's definitely some concern if you're the Steelers. The Dolphins beat them, just like you said, earlier in the season. And, really, if you're a Pats fan, I think that's the matchup you would want to watch, Steelers-Dolphins. The Raiders-Texans game, it could be a good game, but it might not be a high-quality game.
Right, exactly. It might be close.
Might not be the best plays, most athletic plays, but definitely could be a good game.
Okay, so going into this weekend, only 4 teams playing, obviously Patriots and Chiefs on the bye. So assuming one of these teams, which team do you think has the best chance to win the Super Bowl? Obviously Patriots, clearly the favorite, but one team this weekend.
I would probably say the Steelers. I think they're a more experienced team, number of veterans, obviously Big Ben. I'd probably say the Steelers. I mean, the Raiders were probably the team, but now they're on their third-string quarterback. They're pretty banged up. So to me, it's the Steelers for sure.
Yeah, and also the Steelers probably have the easiest path to the Super Bowl because they win this week. They don't have to go to New England. They would only have to play New England in the conference finals if both of them got there. The number 3 seed, so if the Patriots and Chiefs both lose, then Pittsburgh would host the championship game. So I agree with you. I think Pittsburgh, with Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and obviously Ben Roethlisberger, that team is clearly the best. But Patriots, still the favorite. I mean, they're head and shoulders.
Yeah, and I read today that Danny Amendola is back practicing, so once they have him back, there's just another weapon they have. So, I mean, Pats are definitely the clear favorite to make it to the Super Bowl in the AFC.
Right, absolutely. So next week when we come back, we'll talk about obviously who the Patriots play and what their schedule looks like the rest of the way. We're going to take a break and come right back. We'll talk some more playoffs. We'll get over to the NFC and then maybe also what might happen with some of the Patriots coaches at the end of this season. We'll come right back. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.